Hello guys, this is Kavya, and in this video we are going to learn about forecasting. So, what is this forecasting? Now, if I want to speak historically, this concept of forecasting has fascinated people for thousands of years. And sometimes it was considered a sign of divine inspiration, and sometimes it was also seen as a criminal activity. Even now, some people prefer to consult astrologers to understand the future by looking at the planet position. So, you might have experienced it in your own life as well, and you think that you will do something and forecast your way of life or future. But sometimes it would work just like the way you had planned, and sometimes it would be just the opposite. So, guys, this concept of forecasting the future is obviously not an easy activity. Agree? And especially in the world of business, the one who can forecast well will have the bigger advantage over those who forecasts fail. Hence, in this video, we are going to understand as how we can produce a reliable forecast using one of the libraries called Prophet, which is created by Facebook. So guys, let's get started. And Satya, over to you.
Thank you, Kavya. To start with, I'm going to install the FB Prophet library. To install the FB Prophet library, we run the command pip install FB Prophet. So I'm going to execute this cell. Okay, so this library has been installed in my Google Colab system. And after that, I'm going to import my FB Prophet library. So I'm going to import my library, that is import FB Prophet. And then I'm going to display its version. The version that has been currently installed in my current kernel is 0.6. After that, let's load the dataset that we are going to work with. I'm going to import pandas as PD and I'm going to specify my file name, that is bikesales.csv. So let me just execute this cell. Okay, so this is how my dataset looks like. It has two columns. The first column is month and the second column is sales. Now using this dataset, the expectation is I want my machine learning model to learn from this data and help me to generate the future forecast values. Let me open this dataset locally, guys. If I open my file locally, this is how it looks like. This is a comma separated file. And here for the first column, I have it as month, and where month means it has the data as year and the month. And it also has the value as sales, which says as how many units of bikes that has been sold in that particular month. And the date ranges from 1949 January to 1960 December. So I have the data from 1949 to 1960 December. So this is the entire dataset that I have. Now to get the better understanding of the dataset that we have, I'm going to create a plot with the help of matplotlib library. So here I'm importing my matplotlib.pyplot as PLT and I'm creating the plot from this data frame. Let me just execute this cell. Okay, so this is how my time series plot looks like. Now what we are going to do is, using this time series data, we are going to generate the forecast. Now one important thing that we have to keep in mind whenever we are using this FB Prophet library is the column names should always be DS and Y. So this is one of the very important criteria for us to be able to use the FB Prophet library. So what I'm going to do is, I'm renaming my columns of my data frame as DS and Y as per the requirement of my model. So here I have written as df.columns ds, y. Okay. So with this, the first requirement is satisfied. That is, column names should be DS and Y. So let me call the info method to verify it. If I call the info method on my data frame, it says column name is DS and it is having the data type of object, and the column name Y, it is having the data type of 164. In total, I'm having 144 rows. That means in total, I'm having 144 instances as an input data. Now the second requirement is the data type of the column DS should be datetime. So to convert my data type into the datetime object, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of this function pd.to_datetime. So here I'm transforming my column DS into the datetime format. And once it has been converted, if I call my df.info method, see, we can verify that the column DS is now having the data type of datetime. Let's display the first few entries of my data frame. If I display the first few entries of my data frame, we can see that it has been converted into a datetime object. Okay, so with this, my data has been transformed as per the requirement of my machine learning model FBProfit. Now to perform the fit, as a first step, I'm going to import the model. So to import the model from FBProfit, import profit, and I'm going to initialize my model as model is equal to profit, and I'm going to perform the fit on my entire data set. So it is model.fit df. Now after performing the fit, one of the common thing that we do with any machine learning model is generate the predictions. In our case, the training data was only one data, isn't it? In our case, the dataset that we have is only one file. That means it contains only 144 rows. So to perform the predictions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own data. So to create the own data, here I have created an empty list. And after creating an empty list, I'm creating an object as date is equal to 1960, and I'm adding the value of the months, that is 1960 01 to 12, and I'm converting it to a data frame. And after converting it to a data frame, I'm specifying my column name as df, and after specifying my column name as df, I'm converting into a datetime format. Okay, and once I do that, if I display my data frame, that is future, see this data frame future is now having 12 rows of the data, and it starts from 1960 January to 1960 December. So with this, I have my test data ready. Now using this test data, I'm going to generate the predictions for each month. To generate the predictions, we make use of predict method. So here I have written as forecast is equal to model.predict future. Now after this, let me display the forecast. If I display my forecast and the respective columns of ds, y hat and everything, this is how it looks like. If I simply display my forecast data frame, it has many columns. To name a few, I have the column as ds, which is nothing but the test data which I have passed. And we also have the column as trend, y hat lower, y hat upper, trend lower, trend upper, additive terms lower, additive terms upper, yearly lower, and many more guys. In my case, I'm only interested in these three columns, that is y hat lower and y hat upper. Here y hat refers to predicted number of sales for that particular month, and y hat lower and the y hat upper refers to the range at which my predicted value would exist. Okay, if I display these selected columns, I'll get a data frame that looks like this. See, this is the second data frame, and it has ds, y hat lower, and the y hat upper. The y hat is 426.22 and the y hat lower is 397.74 and y hat upper is 453.42. So this is how my predictions would look like. Now to get the better understanding, I'm going to create the plot. Now to create the plot, I'm going to make use of plot method which is present inside the model itself. Hence, I have written as model.plot of forecast. And once I execute this, see, this is how my plot looks like. As we can see, my model is able to perform the predictions in a better way. Even though there are few outliers, when I say outliers, the system is unable to predict these values, but it was able to capture the trend. When I say capture the trend, it was able to reduce whenever there was reduction in values if I compare with the real data, and it was able to increase whenever there is an increase in real data. Okay. So we have done the predictions on my data set. Now let's do one thing, guys. So what we have done just now is we have just generated the predictions on the data set that I already have. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate the predictions. In other words, I'm going to do the forecast for the future data. To generate the forecast for the future data, I have generated the data just like I had done earlier. So here this time I'm generating the data for the year 1961. Let me just execute this, and if I display my future, so this future variable is now represents the data frame which has the values for the year 1961. Okay, now on this year, that is on this year data of 1961, I'm going to generate the predictions. And after generating the predictions, if I create the plot with the help of model.plot forecast, see, this is the forecast for my future data. So what we have done till now is, we have initialized our model of FBProfit, transformed our data set to match the requirement of the model, and then perform the fit and generated the predictions. In other words, generated the forecast for the future data as well. Now the one final thing that is left out for us is evaluation of model. Now to evaluate the model, what we normally do is we first split our data set into two parts, isn't it? Training set and the test set. So I'm going to do the same, guys. To perform the evaluation, as a first step, I'm going to split my entire data frame into training data. And this training data contains all the data except the last 12 rows, because I'm going to keep the last 12 rows for the test data. That is the whole idea, guys. Okay. So I'm separating my training data from my entire data frame like this. And if I display my training data, this now has 132 rows. And on these 132 rows, I'm going to perform the fit using the profit model. So model is equal to profit, model.fit train, and after that I am generating the test data. To generate the test data, I only require the date values, isn't it? So to generate the date values, I'm using the same program which I had used earlier. That means I'm creating a Python list, converting into a data frame and specifying the data frame column as DS and converting into the data type of toDataTime, and then performing the predictions. And after performing the predictions, I'm also generating the yTrue. yTrue are the values which are referring to -12, that is the last 12 rows, guys. So these are the last 12 rows and I'm keeping it as yTrue. Now after generating the predictions from my test data, I'm going to measure with the help of mean absolute error. So here I'm computing the value of loss as mean absolute error, yTrue comma forecast of y hat. So if I just execute this, I now have the value of the loss as 33.44. So that means out of all the predictions, I now have an absolute error of around 33. So it's pretty much good, isn't it? So let's create the plot, guys. So if I want to create the plot, I'll write as plt.plot yTrue comma label is equal to true labels, and let me just execute this. See, I now have a plot like this. The blue line refers to the true values and the orange line refers to the predicted values. Even though it has not reached the exact values of as per the true values, we can see a trend, isn't it? So whenever there is a dip in true values, we can also see there is a dip in predicted values. And whenever there is an increase in the true values, there is also increase in predicted values. And whenever there is decrease, I think around month 3, there is a mistake. And from 4th month, there is an increase. And 5th to 6th, there is an increase. As we can see, my model is able to capture the real trend, or in other words, it is able to perform pretty good. I hope this video has been useful to you, and if you have any other videos that you want to see, do let us know in the comment section, and I look forward to see you in the next video, guys.